Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. I'm once again here in the Sol system, and before I get to my true purpose here, I'm going to take a look at Mercury and Erlich City. Now this is a location that, from what I've noticed, not many people are aware of. In fact, this is a rather large city. It's totally unlike many of the other bases in the galaxy, and many people haven't seen this type of city at all. So here it is. This is Erlich City, a very large city. One of the first cities you're going to notice when you come into the Sol system. Now, unlike many of the other settlements within the game, this one here is an entirely self-contained city. It's got a big defensive wall around it, and there's even blast shields protecting the landing pads here. Those are situated behind me, but you should be able to see some off to the left and right of my current location. Now, I've done a tour of Erlich City once before, but that was a long time ago, nearest to the release of Horizons itself, and there's many new players now involved in Elite Dangerous, and of course there's many new viewers to this channel as well, so many of you probably haven't even seen any cities like this, so I thought it well worth spending a few minutes just giving a bit of a tour here, just so you can get a bit of a feel for what it's like. Like I said, Erlich City isn't the only city of this type within the game. There are numerous others dotted around. In fact, there's one very close to its local parent star. If I recall the name of that planet, I'll put it in the video description. And there you can see the central hub of this massive city. Very much looking forward to gameplay eventually being introduced here, but for now they're good locations for coming along and doing some SRV races. The most recognisable planet within the game, Earth. What am I here for? Well, I'm here to find some specialised legacy firmware. I'm planning on doing some grade 3 dirty drive upgrades for my Vulture, but before I do that, I'm a bit lacking in some of the data. I've got everything else I need, but I really do need a bit of that data. These can be found in various locations. You can get them from mission rewards, and you can also do them by scanning data points on planetary bases. But I didn't fancy doing either of those, and instead I wanted to do some flying around in my ship. So the best way then in that case is to drop into some encoded emission signal sources. These are best found around Earth-like planets, and what better Earth-like to come around than Earth itself. Now there is another reason for me choosing the Sol system, and that's because of all the visitor beacons here. I still haven't read all of them out, and I'm going to check a few others during the course of this video. Interested in the shot here, you can see my home country there, United Kingdom, and you can see a bit more of the coastline of Earth here. The coastline is a little bit different to our current time, as over the course of the next 1,000 years, or the next 1,300 years, the sea levels have raised quite significantly. And from what I remember, Frontier have pretty much accurately portrayed how the coastlines would look over that time period. So here we go then, my first satellite. Remember, I'm looking for specialised legacy firmware. I do have some new data here, but unfortunately it wasn't what I wanted. The somewhat ironic thing is that the firmware that I actually want is only a grade 1 item, and I seem to be able to find the much higher grade items with greater ease. But there we go. So here we are, the second encoded emission signal source, and this one is just a wreckage of some type. It did have a private data beacon in here though, so I soon flew over to that to have a look to see what that would be about. Now it is interesting to drop into all these different signal sources because there's a wide range of things going on inside of them, especially if you drop into some of the distress signals, or if you've got a combat ship you can drop into some of the combat signal sources and have a bit of fun whilst you're en route to obtaining your objective. So all of this footage here was recorded over a few nights. It was about a week in fact, with a good number of about 60 to 90 minute play sessions. In the end, I kind of wished I went down to the planetary bases and did some data scanning, but there you go, we're here now. So another satellite, and not what I actually wanted, although this one will probably come in for some use a little bit later down the line. So if you're curious where to find the encoded emission signal sources, you can usually find these, like I said, around Earth-like planets, but you need to keep a certain distance from the world itself, usually about 10,000 megameters out to around 30,000 megameters. This is the range where you'll find them most common. So in the end, without actually having any luck finding what I wanted here near Earth, I decided to head out towards Mars. I doubt whether it'll have much difference in terms of the RNG and the chances of actually spawning what I want, but Mars is a very pleasant location. Of course, in 3300, Mars has long been terraformed. Mars in-game uses the real-world height map data from Mars itself, and therefore the coastlines we see here are reflective of what Mars might look like if it was actually terraformed. And it's precisely this reason that I enjoy flying around Mars. There's a lot of surface features here that you may well recognise. Right here you can see the Valles Marineris. This is a massive trench or canyon system that dwarfs the Grand Canyon on Earth. With a length of around 2,500 miles, this canyon would stretch from the east to the west coast of the United States, and with a depth of nearly 7 miles, you could nearly fit the entirety of Mount Everest within it. There's plenty of new planets and moons that have been added to the solar system, and I'm going to be taking a look at these in my next video. But for now, all of my determination was finally rewarded. After many days and many hours of looking for specialized legacy firmware, I dropped into my final encoded emissions signal source this morning and was rewarded with a satellite here. Now, this satellite did contain exactly what I wanted. You'll see that come up in just a moment. The downside was that just as the scan completed, you'll see here that my data banks are actually full. Fortunately, I still managed to get the item that I actually wanted, so there we go, at least there's that. But that will teach me to fill my banks up with a load of junk. I'll be back very soon with some more videos on Elite Dangerous. For now, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.